Welcome everyone, I hope everyone is doing well. Today I want to make a quick video, and these videos are going to become more and more personal. I'm going to try to go that route, share some anecdotes that may or may not relate to you. It's sharing my life experiences, or sharing some of my life experiences may be helpful in me illustrating some examples of where I think crypto can go. Let me know if you find these interesting or not. I'm just trying to talk in front of the camera and open up a dialogue with everyone. So before I start, this is a 1 out of 1 Cardano effect tie. And just like this tie, I invest in 1 out of 1 blockchain projects. So Cardano is as unique as this tie, and I don't do anything that can be easily replicated or duplicated. And that's why I have this tie, and that's why I invested in Cardano. Why am I saying this? I don't know. I'm just trying to get some thoughts out of my head. Short term for crypto right now, extremely bearish. Medium term, extremely bearish. Long term, possibly bullish. I think the economy is crashing, but I think that Cardano will and can weather the storm. Anyway, so I have some anecdotes that I'm going to share about why I think that cryptocurrencies are far from ready. So first of all, I just finished my taxes, and usually it's April 15th deadline, but it's been pushed back to, what is it, June or July 15th? Well, anyway, I've gotten them done. I've gotten them submitted. So it's time for me to mail my check to the IRS, whatever tax obligations I had to make. So first mistake, first of all, I've been banking with Bank of America for forever, over a decade. So I'm genuinely favorable of the bank. I've had a lot of bad experiences actually with the bank, but or medium experiences, medium to bad experiences. It really depends on how you perceive them. So I made a couple of just bonehead decisions this week, or bonehead errors, simply because I was rushing. I may have been stressed out. It's a very stressful experience right now. Usually I go and I need to move money around, or I need to pay bills, or I need to take distributions or salaries for a year. I usually go inside the branch, but all the branches are closed for Bank of America. I called up the bank attendant. They said that I could go to the ATM, deposit checks. They've lifted limits, this and that. So that's what I plan to do. And I don't usually make errors like this. I'm usually extremely meticulous. So it was really out of character. And I was very disappointed with my actions. And it was one of those things where I said, this is never going to happen to me again. But it actually happened to me twice this week. Two different scenarios, but it was just an oversight on my part. So for the first scenario, I'm mailing out my check to the IRS. So my checking and savings account, the checkbook is written from my checking account, and I don't keep a very large balance in my checking account. So I was like, I need to move money from my savings account to my checking account in order to have enough money in there when the IRS cashes out that check. So I went on my online banking platform and quickly switched some money over to meet that tax obligation. But I don't know what I was thinking. Instead of moving money from my savings to my checking, I moved money from my checking to my savings. So all of a sudden, I see this error, low balance, overdraft, this and that. And it was by a significant amount. So like I panicked. I called bank, and they said that, of course, I moved the money back, but it was still, the balances weren't adding up. So I was like, they froze that money for a little period of time. So I was like, what do I do? They say wait 24 to 48 hours, everything will be resolved. The ledger just has to complete. And like clockwork, I think like maybe 24 hours later, everything was resolved in my account, and I was like, I'm never making that mistake again. I was very disappointed with myself. But anyway, I digress. So just a couple days ago on Friday, I went to the bank. So all that is settled. So I went to the bank to take my salary and distribution from my company, put it into my personal account. So I wrote checks to my name, and I deposited those checks into my business account. I wrote it from my business account and deposited the checks into my business account. So I was taking money from my business account and depositing the same money in my business account. So I panicked again, like I don't know how I put the wrong ATM card in the machine. I have a lot of ATM cards. It's really hard to balance everything. So anyway, I put that card in. I called Bank of America. They said within 24 hours this would be resolved. So I felt like a fool, and it was very disappointed. I was very disappointed in myself. But I woke up at Saturday morning, everything was good, then I wrote the correct checks and put it in. So why do I even talk about this? Why is this story even relevant? Because in crypto, I mean, I'm not trying to compare myself to the rest of the population, but I'm sure when I spoke on the phone, they told me that this happens all the time. All the time, people are like moving money from wrong accounts, or they made a quick mistake, an error in judgment, or they've done this before, writing checks and putting them in the same account. This happens all the time. But there's a mitigation process. And this is where I differ from a lot of people outside in the crypto space that are more of these every person for themselves. The majority of the population wants some sort of recourse if something goes wrong. And there isn't that in crypto. Once you make a mistake, that's it. It's usually fatal. It's usually fatal. There are not a lot of checks and balances to prevent anyone from losing their entire savings or entire checking or all their funds. The average person who has so much to worry about, and I don't have a lot to worry about. It's not like I have dependents. I don't have kids. I don't have any of this. So I'm thinking about the average person with a family who's trying to balance a checkbook, who's trying to balance a budget, this and that, and they make a quick mistake. They can always call up Bank of America or Chase and say, fix this, mitigate this, there's an issue here. What do I do? What do I do? Oh, go to your newest branch. We'll fix it. We'll refund the money in your account. Or you need a refund. You have identity fraud. We'll put that money back in your account. There's none of this for crypto. It's every person for themselves. And it's brutal. It's beautiful, but at the same time, it prevents this idea of it's a massive wave of people coming into the crypto space. So moving forward, especially for the Cardano project, I hope that when certain smart contracts are built, there are a lot of safety mechanisms to prevent users from losing funds, whether that be triple or quadruple identification, or making sure that each address is checked, rechecked, triple checked before large transactions are made. I think that this is probably something that's going to have to go, and it's something that's going to have to be implemented, or embedding identity within individual transactions. So you can guarantee with 100% accuracy that the person you're sending it to is that person that you want to send it to. There needs to be some sort of safe proof mechanisms, and there are safe proof mechanisms that are being built, but it needs to become more and more and more comfortable. The reason why Coinbase is the biggest exchange, the largest exchange in the United States, and it will continue to be large, is because it has that sort of safety feel. It almost feels like the banking experience, and I think that it's going to get better and better over time. So while you may lament about the fees that Coinbase charges or the fees that they take when staking certain assets, at the end of the day, they have that Bank of America Chase feel. Coinbase is located in San Francisco. It's located near the Bank of America building. It's located near the banks of large companies, whether that be Uber or Google or whatever companies are located in that concentrated San Francisco area. So moving forward, we're going to have to make sure that we either embed identity into individual transactions or provide enough safety protocols to help people participate in smart contracts, or help people participate without fear of losing their funds. Because I think that this is a huge issue. I don't know how many of you have had that issue before, but that's how I feel. And yeah, I mean, that's why I still like banking. And I've had my issues. Trust me, I've had a lot of issues with banking. But at the end of the day, I feel safer with Bank of America than I do with crypto. And that's why we all have a ledger device, and that's why we're all keeping it off exchanges, right? Yeah, at the end of the day, if you're a veteran here, sometimes you don't even trust Coinbase. You just get it on a ledger. So I don't know how productive that is for the majority of the population, but it just goes to show you that we have a lot of work to do to get to where we need to get to. All right, until the next video.